Alright guys, so today we're going to check out another budget pair of truly wireless earbuds that basically has very impressive features and really impressive sound for only 50 bucks. The pair we're going to check out are the TaoTronics SoundLiberty 79. Now, like I said, this pair comes in at $50. There is a link in the description below if you want to check out any more information on these, but let's go ahead and check out some of the specs and what it is you get inside the box. Now, the first thing is these do have Bluetooth 5.0, and sadly, they don't support aptX or AAC. That would probably be the only complaint that I have about these, but I still think they have fantastic Bluetooth quality, and that's with using it with Apple, Android, PC, whatever I used it on, it did an extremely nice job. Now, the IP rating on these are IPX7, so they are completely waterproof, and for a pair that's $50 that you can go out and exercise and run and not have to worry about sweat or rain, or if you drop them into water, that's actually really beneficial. Now, as far as what you're getting inside the box, you are getting the usual small, medium, and large silicone ear tips, but you're also getting 2 sets of the wing tips. So again, if you are somebody that wants to use these while being active or doing anything, those wing tips are just going to help keep them in your ear and not move around. Now, as far as the charging cable, I am happy to say that it is a USB-C cable, and the battery life on these are very impressive because on an individual charge, the earbuds are going to get around 8 hours of battery life, where with using the case, you're going to get around a total of 40 hours. Now, that beats a lot of the more expensive earbuds, and it's just nice to have in a pair that's only 50 bucks. Now, as far as the case itself, the case is very, very tiny. I love that they used a matte finish so that it's not picking up fingerprints like crazy. On the back, you can see the USB-C input for charging, and I also like that on the front you have 4 indicator lights to let you know where the battery life's at. Now, these indicator lights actually serve 2 purposes. At first, it will show you the battery life of the case, but once your earbuds are in there, it will also light up on the far left and the far right to let you know that both are connected inside, which basically means that both are charging. And that's actually more beneficial than you think, because there are some earbuds that when you place them in a case, sometimes if you don't place them just right, they won't start charging. So you think they're in a case and charging, but they're actually not. So the ability to see that on the outside of this case is really nice. Now, moving over to the earbuds themselves, I don't know if it's just the way that these are designed, but they do an excellent job of staying in my ear. And they also do an excellent job of not feeling any kind of pain. So as far as ear fatigue, I didn't experience any with these. I was able to wear them for long periods of time. And I think also having those little wing tips, keeping them more stabilized, is keeping them from causing any kind of pain. Now, as far as your controls, these do utilize touch controls, and I'm happy to say that they control everything. Your play, your pause, skipping your tracks forward, going backwards, anything that you want to do, you don't have to pull out your phone to control the volume or track controls. It's very nice at all times to have those controls on the earbuds. Now, as far as you guys that like to use your earbuds individually, you'll be happy to know that you can use either the left or the right, and the microphones on here actually do a very good job, especially considering that it's IPX7 rated, because usually the higher the IP rating, it usually affects microphones because of the coding that the earbuds have to have. But I think they do an excellent job of picking up the voice and blocking out a lot of the surroundings. Now, on Amazon, it says it will block around 90 to 95%. That may be a little overkill, but I still think they do an excellent job. But you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here. Alright guys, so here is a mic test of the TaoTronics SoundLiberty 79. Again, I think because these have an IP rating of an IPX7, it does affect the microphones a little bit, but overall I think they do a great job picking up my voice and blocking out a lot of the outside surroundings. But this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call. And so now here is a mic test with me playing a crowd noise in the background, which you can hear here. So this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call in public. So now let's move over to the sound. The sound of these were where it was really surprising, because not only does it have a dynamic sound with very punchy, like thick bass and very bright, clean treble, it also has some air and spaciousness in the sound. So it doesn't feel like it's being crammed right there in front of you. It doesn't feel like 2 just large speakers. there actually feels like there's quite a bit of distance in what you're listening to, which is surprising to have distance, but also be able to feel that kind of impact in bass. The bass on these, what's so surprising is it even has that low rumble to it. It's kind of similar to the effect of having like a subwoofer in your car. You know, when bass hits, instead of just having that quick, tight, impactful hit, you're gonna hit and then also kind of feel it resonate a little bit. And depending on what genre you listen to, it's really nice to have that. But it also seems as though these earbuds kind of cater to what you're listening to as well, because there's some genres where obviously having that resonating bass isn't going to fit, and it seems to just calm itself down. Now obviously I don't think it's doing that on purpose, but I think when there's frequencies that are that low, that are purposely being there to hit in that way, it knows when it's there and it knows when to accentuate that. So the bass is excellent in these. And the same thing kind of goes for the treble. The treble's tuned up in a way to where you're able to hear all of these subtle details. If you turn it up really loud, it can actually get to the point of being very, very bright, but it never gets to the point of being too harsh. You don't start to hear hissing in higher frequencies. It's very clean, it's very detailed, and I think the only frequency I would like to see a little bit done with are the mids. Now I think the mids sound great. I don't have any problem hearing the vocalists. I don't have any problem hearing details. But when you're listening to stuff where the bass is tuned up the way it is and the treble's tuned up the way it is, I think you would just like to have the mids pushed a little bit more forward. Now as far as the sound stage and sound imaging, like I said earlier, there is a lot of space in the sound, so it definitely feels like you're in a larger room listening to the band play. As far as the detail in instruments, for the most part it does a great job. You're able to hear where things are coming from. Again, I think this is where if the mids were pushed a little bit more forward, you would be able to pick apart a little bit more detail. But again, I feel like that's kind of nitpicking considering the price. Now, as far as my cons, really it just goes back to the fact that I wish there was a little bit more boost in the mids. Other than that, I don't have any complaints. One, because they're $50, but two, because of the battery life and the IP rating and the way that they're actually able to get decent quality out of the mics, along with some very impressive sound. There's not really much you can complain about at $50. So overall, I think the TaoTronics SoundLiberty 79 is kind of one of those easy pair to recommend. Not only because of the price, but because the features are going to please a lot of people. But guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.